Greetings, friends. Purple hair guy here. So, I've been enjoying doing tier list content. I think it's just fun to do because I get to explain and give my opinions on stuff, and everybody seems to, receive them pretty well. So, I'm going to keep going with them unless, everyone just comes together and goes, I hate these. But I don't think you guys are going to do that. I think that everybody generally likes them. I will keep making, actual stuff. But for now, let's just keep going on, yield. What are these called again? I just said the word tier list. Yeah, okay. I didn't forget the word tier list. I swear. All right. Now, I'm just going to be rating every single weapon in Gunfire Reborn. If you guys don't know what Gunfire Reborn is, it's a pretty cool roguelike game. It reminds me of Synthetic, except, 3D and not exactly like Synthetic. But it's pretty good, pretty good. Now, I do have every weapon unlocked in the game. If you guys don't, just take my word for it that, they're the ratings that they are. And I'm going to be doing this from the viewpoint of Laylo, so the tiger, and Crown Prince. So pretty much like range characters instead of the dog and, what's his name? The Birdman. I don't remember their names. Ao Bao and I can't remember. Jing, whatever. The names are confusing. I don't speak. I speak English, so it's just, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's just get into it. So here we've got Demon Lore. This is actually a super strong gun. I think it belongs in A tier 100%. It deals so much damage, and the damage can stack so very well. But the problem with it is, it's a submachine gun, and if you don't have magazine increases, it's not as good. But it is a very good gun. Next, we got the Scalpel. The Scalpel is another A tier SMG. It has ammo problems as well, but deals so much damage. It's absolutely insane. I believe this is concealed ammo, if I remember correctly. This is one with the dynamite strapped to it, and you throw it when you reload it. I think that this is a D tier weapon. It just doesn't have the damage I want. It doesn't feel good to use. Next up, we got Sunder. Sunder's a C tier big time. It's just not great. I do pick it up whenever I see it early on, but I drop it guaranteed when anything better comes along because it's just hard to work with. Let's be honest, the Foundry, insane. It's so good for a starting weapon. You can make it so powerful. Still a B tier gun, not the greatest, not the worst. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Scorching Rounds, another A tier gun. Pistol deals a lot of damage, explosive shots, fire damage. Really, really, really good. Super strong. Highly recommend picking it up if you see it. Now I'm going to put Aura or Venom Aura Venom, whatever it is, in B tier because of this one reason. It's that the inscriptions make the weapon. Now, the inscriptions can be so bad on this gun. It could be totally, I would make it its own F tier, because it can be so bad. Now, I don't remember the name of this gun, but it's like blistering something. It causes a bleed when you hit a snipe on it. It's definitely an A tier sniper. It doesn't push up into the S tier because it shoots really slow and it's not so reliable as a gun, but it is still really, really good. Next up, Talisman. Now, Talisman can work insanely well with crits. It can deal so much damage, just absolutely pop, destroy people. It's disgustingly good, but it sometimes isn't. I'd say it's an A tier 100% of the time. Next up in B tier, we're going to put Hell. Now, if this was a viewpoint from the bird, it would be S tier because that character is insane with shotguns, insane with Hell because you reload every time. It's like a shell-based shotgun, so you'll shoot once, reload, and get that infinite ammo, or shoot 3 times, reload, whatever it is. So good. So very good. Calvary? I'd say Calvary is an S tier weapon. Wait, hold up. Let me make sure this is actually Calvary. Yeah, it is. Dragon Chaser's down here. That's the only one I get it confused with. Yeah, so this is Calvary. Calvary is insane. Last shot's always a lucky shot. Deals so much damage. It's just so good. Illusion, definitely put it in C tier for Crown Prince and Laylo. It's just, I don't know. The shotguns, they're not that great with it. Next up, we got Argus. Argus is definitely a B tier. Does a lot of damage. Hits those heads pretty hard. Problem is, it just shoots big. And if you're going for only precision shots, it's not like the greatest. Next up, we got Pupil. Now, Pupil is a shotgun that you can charge shot and hit like exclusively critical hits on those heads because the spread gets to like nothing. I think the spread is actually very, 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 very small. Now, with that small spread comes, less fire rate, but it's just like a sniper rifle. It's any sniper rifle. Next up, we got the Huntsman or the Hunter, whatever this one's called. Hate it. Never pick it up. Whenever I see it, I'm always like, oh god, I wish I just had a better gun. It's terrible. Don't use it. Don't use it. Next, we got the Porcupine. Now, the Porcupine is really, really good. The right click is a single shot that explodes at the end. It just sometimes lacks in the damage that you want. Otherwise, it's a pretty good gun. Definitely hard B tier, no doubt. Okay, Tiger Cannon, S tier, no freaking doubt. On Laylo and Crown Prince, it's insane. You either have Arcane Shot or what? I think it's Arcane Shot, deal the 300 damage AoE. It deals so much damage. Or you just have the lightning damage dealing 150% of that lightning damage. Pow, lightning bolt, everybody dies. This gun's insane. It's so good. Thunder Glove, or not Thunder Glove, Fire Glove, not that great on these two characters. They just don't work out. It just doesn't. It's not good. It's not great. Tiger Cannon, it's just a downgrade, or Frenzied Shark, not Tiger Cannon. Whoops, Frenzied Shark. Now Frenzied Shark's a grenade launcher. It works like Tiger Cannon. It's just a little less reliable, and that's why it's getting put in A tier instead of S tier. It is a very good gun, just not the best. Shrieker kind of falls in the same category as Frenzied Shark. It works like a sniper with its single shot. You can't really aim with it. It's hard to aim with. And the delayed shots kind of make it just hard to use, but it does deal a lot of damage. It has an explosion. It's a good gun, not the best, not the worst. Like it, don't love it. Bone Cannon or Gravity Gun, whatever you want to call it, anything works. Bone Dragon, I think it's a Bone Dragon, yes. It's good. It's a B tier gun because it just doesn't do what I want it to. Now the crowd control is super nice. It stops bosses from moving, especially Wooly or whatever. Why am I? Luli? Lilo? Liwu? I don't remember. It's something like that. The first boss, we all know him, we all love him. Big orange cat man. Beautiful boss. It stops him in his tracks, no doubt. I usually don't like to keep it towards the end. It just has, you know, ammunition problems, and I'm not a huge fan of running into it. So that's why it's getting B tier. Now, the Rainbow Arc is a B tier gun just because you have to hit the charge shot, or the, not the charge shot, the weapon skill, which is the charge shot. It deals quite a bit of damage for it. It's just not, I don't really like using it. I think it is a good gun, not a huge fan. Wouldn't recommend picking it up at every run because there is better options, but it's still good. Justice, another actually, I'm going to put this one in A tier. It functions the same as Frenzied Shark. You just get that explosion. It actually deals a lot of damage. Not the best, not the worst. Is really good all the time. A tier, big time. Lightning Glove, that's going C tier, only because it just doesn't work with you know, all of their talents. It is a good gun. I wouldn't recommend taking it on either of them. The AoE is super good on the the second boss, the big worm guy. I've never been able to pronounce it. Still good gun, but solid C tier. Rainbow Arc, another, not Rainbow Arc. I think it's just Rainbow itself. D tier, no doubt. It's terrible. I hate using it. It's never good to use. The range is too short. It just doesn't deal enough damage for it. Not great. Fire Dragon's going to fall in the same category as our two gloves over here. It does pretty much the same job, just with a little less range. That's okay. Wouldn't recommend using it. It is a really good gun still. Don't shake a stick at it. It's worth using. Just not the greatest. Now we're moving on to the Scorching Shot, or is this the Burning Shot? Let's go take a look. I can never remember. Oh, Piercing Flame. Now, Piercing Flame, really good. Deals so much damage. You can get a lot of really good inscriptions on it. That's why it's getting put in S tier. Same thing with Double Caliber. Double Caliber does the same thing as Scorching Shot. They're just both snipers, and they're insane. They're so very good. I'll be putting Ghost Shock in A tier just because it suffers from the slower fire rate. I hate the like wind up time you have to do when using it. It is really good, but it's definitely an A tier instead. And also, I just realized a mistake I made. This is not the weapon I thought it was. This thing, I can't remember what the name of it is because I never use it. It's definitely a C tier weapon. It's not the worst. Thunderstorm, I just looked at it. Thunderstorm, it's more like an SMG with a secondary explosion effect. Not great, don't love it, don't hate it, don't think it's very good. But I will remedy my choice here and put the Bloody Drill up in A tier, where, no, I thought it should be. The Bloody Drill's insane. Super slow fire rate though, low magazine size, long reload. Not my best choice of a gun, but it is still really good. Next we got the Woodpecker. It's more of an assault variant of the Ghost Shock. It's super good. It is a sniper still. Shoots really fast. Can deal a lot of damage. You need the right inscriptions on it to make this thing legendary. It's still really good. Golden Bow, great bow weapon. Bows are really hard to use compared to other weapons, but they are super duper strong. Now, they have okay crit multipliers, but they just deal so much base damage, and they're kind of easy to aim when you get the hang of it. That's why this is going in A tier. Crimson Fire Scale, that's an A tier weapon. Even though it's an SMG and doesn't really work well with the idea of these classes, it has the same functionality as the Scalpel. It's just a really good gun to use, deals a lot of damage, has a great secondary fire, very useful. Next up is Sting. This is another A tier weapon. Now, the weird like fire variant is a little strange on this gun, but it definitely works well with headshots, works well with a lot of abilities, as long as you time it right, and the explosion effect is really good. Moving on to Prism here, I'm actually going to rate Prism in B tier because of the bouncing. I hate the bouncing. It really messes me up sometimes with some of the things, and it doesn't really deal the damage I need to do with it. And however, Glimmering, which I'm going to skip over the Strike Wing, and putting Glimmering into the A tier, it kind of has what I want from Prism, which is the sticking effect. So you stick it in and it explodes. It's much better than Prism because Prism has this penetration and the bouncing, which can sometimes screw over some of the passives you're going for. And that's why it's getting B tier. It is a very good gun, but it belongs in B tier just because of that bounce. While Glimmering has the stick and then explode, which is a very strong effect and is even better with things like Arcane Shot and stuff like that. You know, all the goodies. Next, moving on to Strike Wing. Strike Wing is S tier, no doubt. It's like the golden bow, except a general upgrade of the shots bounce around it. So if you hit those like 99,000 damage crits or whatever, like 100,000 damage crits, which I've gotten those before using these bows, it just spreads out behind them and insta kills any enemies behind them. It's just insane. Finally, we have everybody's favorite flowing light, the sword weapon. The sword weapon's going in C for these guys. It just doesn't work well with them. Being up close and personal, not the best choice you can make. Still really good though. I like using it a lot. It's super fun, but it's not the best choice. Next up, we got Dragon Chaser. Now, Dragon Chaser is much like, I think it's Rainbow Arc that it's similar to, or is it Rainbow itself? I'm not sure. It's a good gun, deals a lot of damage, a little inaccurate, but the secondary skill makes up for it because you can hit people in the face with the secondary skill and then shoot straight in the air. It's going to be crits every time just because you're hitting the heads. It's so good and bad at the same time. It's insane. Next, we've got Lightning Blast, another B tier gun. It deals a lot of damage if you can get the setup right. It's just not very good. I think it's okay. I wouldn't pick it all the time, but it does deal a lot of damage if you have the right inscriptions on it. It's just generally an okay gun. Pretty good. Okay, now onto the Big Hippo. The Big Hippo, not the greatest gun in the world, but you can get some insane inscriptions on it. And say you have Advanced Depot, you're going to be a monster with this gun, even if none of your perks like work really well with non-single fire weapons. It is still really good. Here we have Star Devourer. This is going to be another B tier SMG. It doesn't live up to things like the Crimson Fire Scale, the Scalpel, or the Demon Lore. It's a good gun. It's a decent gun. I wouldn't ever say it's bad. But a gun I would say is pretty bad is the Angelic Aura. This thing just kind of sucks. It doesn't like you have the difference between, I think it's a 5 and an 8 round burst. It feels like garbage to use. I hate using it, so I don't use it. That's why it's built in C tier. It is a good gun in regards to concealed ammo, Huntsman, and Rainbow, because these things suck, but it's not up in any of the other tiers. Last but not least, we got our boy Dual Fang here. Now, Dual Fang, once again, doesn't live up to these SMGs, but has a really good elemental status effect. It just, I don't know, that it doesn't have what it would take to get into the A or S tier. Now, once again, to reiterate, this is the S tier for Lalo and Crown Prince. Those are kind of like the more sit back, shooty type guys, which is why the gloves and some of the shotguns aren't as high as, you'd expect them to be. Hell is still really good. Argus is still really good. Pretty much any gun B tier and up is going to be good almost all the time. Any gun C tier and down, you're going to need to situationally get. And any S tier weapon, I would pick every single time you see it. Even if it's maybe even a level below what you're running. Say you get a level 5 and you have like 6 stuffs already, you should usually take them because their modifiers can be so good that they can just straight up carry runs, and that's all you're looking for. Now, anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!